Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English podcast with Mandy and Mark. I'm so glad you could join us for another exciting episode where we dive into a fun topic and help you boost your English skills along the way.
That's right. Today, we're going to let our imaginations run wild and chat about our dream homes. We'll be using lots of descriptive language and interesting vocabulary that you can use to talk about your own ideal living space.
Whether you dream of a cozy cottage in the countryside or a modern penthouse in the city, we'll give you the tools to express yourself confidently. Stick around till the end for some vocabulary exercises and questions to test your understanding. Don't forget to leave your answers in the comments section. We love hearing from you. So, Mark, are you ready to dive into the world of dream homes? I'm curious, what kind of place comes to mind when you think about your ideal living space?
Oh, absolutely. I've always been drawn to the idea of a spacious loft apartment in a bustling city. I love the high ceilings, large windows that let in tons of natural light, and that industrial chic aesthetic with exposed brick walls.
That sounds amazing! I can definitely see you in a place like that. It's funny, I'm quite the opposite. I picture myself in a charming cottage in the countryside, surrounded by nature. I'm talking about a place with a thatched roof, a beautiful garden, and maybe even a nearby creek where I can relax by the water.
Oh, that sounds incredibly peaceful. It's amazing how our dream homes can be so different, yet equally appealing. What about the interior? Any specific features you'd love to have?
Definitely. I love the idea of an open-plan kitchen and living room area, perfect for hosting friends and family. A fireplace is a must-have for those chilly evenings, and I'd love to have a sunroom where I can enjoy my morning coffee bathed in natural light.
Those are great choices. I'm big on having a home office where I can focus on work and creative projects. Ideally, it would have a stunning view to keep me inspired. And of course, a state-of-the-art kitchen wouldn't hurt either, especially since I enjoy cooking.
Now you're talking. A well-equipped kitchen is a game-changer. Speaking of which, what about the location of your dream loft? Any particular city you have in mind?
I've always been captivated by the energy of New York City. The thought of stepping out your door and being right in the heart of all the action, surrounded by endless possibilities, is truly exhilarating.
New York City would be incredible. I can just imagine the incredible views from your loft. For my countryside escape, I'd love to be somewhere in the Cotswolds in England. The rolling hills, quaint villages, and charming cottages are straight out of a storybook.
I've seen pictures of the Cotswolds, and it looks absolutely idyllic. It's amazing how our dream homes reflect our personalities and aspirations. Yours is all about tranquility and connection with nature, while mine is about embracing the vibrancy and opportunities of city life.
Exactly. It's fascinating how our preferences shape our vision of the perfect home. What about the overall vibe you're going for? Do you envision a modern and minimalist space, or something more cozy and eclectic?
For my loft, I'm definitely leaning towards a modern and minimalist aesthetic. Clean lines, sleek furniture, and a neutral color palette with pops of bold accents here and there. I want the space to feel open, airy, and uncluttered.
I can see that. I think a minimalist approach would perfectly complement the industrial chic elements you mentioned earlier. For my cottage, I'm picturing a warm and inviting atmosphere with a touch of rustic charm. Think exposed wooden beams, plush textiles, and a mix of vintage and modern furniture.
That sounds incredibly cozy and inviting. It would be the perfect place to curl up with a good book by the fireplace on a rainy afternoon.
Exactly. It's all about creating a space where you feel truly at ease and surrounded by things you love.
Absolutely. After all, our dream home should be a reflection of ourselves and a place where we can relax, recharge, and simply be ourselves.
Couldn't agree more. It's been so much fun chatting with you about our dream homes, Mark. It's amazing how these conversations can spark so much creativity and inspiration.
I completely agree. It's got me dreaming big. And who knows, maybe one day these dreams will become a reality.
Fingers crossed. But for now, let's move on to some vocabulary that we used while discussing our dream homes. I'm sure our listeners picked up some interesting phrases and words they can use to describe their own ideal living spaces. You're right, Mark. We used some great vocabulary while painting those dream home pictures. Remember to jot down any new words or phrases you found interesting. Mark, why don't you kick us off with the first vocabulary word?
Okay, the first word is bustling, which describes a place that's full of activity and energy. For example, I love the bustling atmosphere of the city during the holiday season.
Great one. Next up, we have thatched roof, which refers to a traditional roof made from straw or reeds. It's commonly seen in cottages in the countryside. For instance, the charming cottage with a thatched roof looked like it belonged in a fairy tale.
Our third word is open plan, which describes a layout where two or more rooms are combined without walls. You could say, the open-plan kitchen and living room create a spacious and sociable atmosphere.
Good one. Let's move on to state-of-the-art, which means the most modern and advanced. For example, the new apartment complex boasts state-of-the-art facilities, including a rooftop pool and a fitness center.
Number 5 is idyllic, which means extremely pleasant, beautiful, and peaceful. For example, we spent a week in an idyllic seaside village, enjoying the tranquility and breathtaking views.
Nice. Next, we have rustic charm, which describes something that is simple, old-fashioned, and attractive in a natural way. You could say, the farmhouse had a rustic charm, with its exposed beams and antique furniture.
Our seventh word is plush, which means luxuriously soft and comfortable. For instance, the hotel room featured a plush king-size bed and fluffy towels.
Excellent. The next word is eclectic, which describes a style that mixes different elements in a harmonious way. For example, her eclectic taste is reflected in her home decor, which features a mix of vintage and modern pieces.
Our ninth word is minimalism, which refers to a style that emphasizes simplicity and functionality. You might say, the principles of minimalism encourage you to live with less and focus on what truly matters.
Great one. Clean lines is our next phrase, which describes a design aesthetic that favors straight lines and geometric shapes. For instance, the architect's signature style is characterized by clean lines, minimalist forms, and an emphasis on natural light.
Next, we have uncluttered, which describes a space that is free from unnecessary items or clutter. For example, an uncluttered workspace can improve focus and productivity.
And finally, we have bold accents, which refer to striking or eye-catching elements that add a pop of color or personality. For example, the neutral living room is brought to life by bold accents in shades of turquoise and coral. Now that we've covered some key vocabulary, let's put your listening skills to the test with a few questions. Don't forget to share your answers and thoughts in the comments below. Mark, would you like to start us off with the first question?
You bet. So, our first question is, what kind of home does Mark envision as his dream living space?
Great question. And how about this one? What feature does Mandy consider a must-have for her dream cottage?
Nice one. For our next question, tell us, what type of atmosphere does Mark prefer for his dream loft? Modern and minimalist, or cozy and eclectic?
Okay, last but not least, here's a question for you to think about. We've described our dream homes today, but how would you describe your ideal living space? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. This episode has been a whirlwind of architectural daydreams, wouldn't you say, Mark?
Absolutely. We've covered everything from bustling cities to tranquil countrysides, sleek lofts to charming cottages. It just goes to show that dream homes come in all shapes and sizes.
And the most important thing is that they reflect our personalities, our needs, and our aspirations. Whether it's a minimalist haven or a cozy retreat, your dream home should be a place where you feel truly at ease.
Well said, Mandy. Remember, learning English is all about feeling comfortable expressing yourself, even when talking about something as personal as your dream home.
And that's a wrap on another episode of the English Podcast with Mandy and Mark. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through vocabulary and grammar. We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little inspiring. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We love hearing from you, so tell us about your dream home in the comments below. Until next time, happy learning!